Hey everyone, I'm Marissa,
And I'm Haley.
and today we're talking about our experience with Nanowrimo. Now, Haley,
Yep, November. That time of the year. I'm not saying that time of the month, it's an entire month. That time of the year with the most stress for any writer taking on this challenge.
which if you can, good for you, because I can't. Sad. I
Oh,
like doing Nanowrimo.
lies.
I can't. I'm
Lies.
literally too busy. I'm not doing it this year.
You made it sound like you've never won. You know, we're going to get to that later. We're going to get to that.
I
First, what is NaNoWriMo?
So, Nanowrimo stands for National Writing Month, which is in November.
Nope, National Novel Writing Month.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering where the NO came from. See, you learn things every day.
National Novel Writing Month. Continue.
My way's better. Anyway, and like I said, it happens every November. Now the challenge is for adults. I'll talk about minors in a second. You have to write 50,000 words in a month, aka what would be the base of a novel. Now, if you are under 18, you do get to pick what your writing limit is. I know when I did it, when I first did it, I was 17, and I picked like 30,000. So you can make it smaller if you're under 18. But once you're 18, boom, it's 50,000. You can't do anything about it.
If you don't reach 50,000, you're a loser. You failed. Goodbye. Good day, sir.
It's in the contract. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's a challenge every November. We had on our YouTube channel, you should totally check it out, a whole episode on like tips and tricks on how you can win and stuff. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're just talking about our experience in this very challenging, very failure-ridden challenge that is NaNoWriMo.
Yes. And I'm going to kick it off with what was your first experience with NaNoWriMo like? I did just briefly mention it that when I first did it, I was 17. I was in high school. My creative writing teacher thought it would be great if we all did NaNoWriMo together as a class. And I set my sights for 30,000 because we typically started writing in October, but we were given a month. He didn't give us more time. We had a month. We just started a little early. So, and most of us finished, thankfully. I think only a handful of us failed. But that was the first and currently only year that I won. What about you, Haley? When did you first go?
I think it was the same year as you, but because life hates me, I couldn't do the creative writing class. Because life hates me. Specifically the school. And the schedules didn't line up. But yeah, so I did it by myself. I didn't know you could change the word count because no one told me this. And yeah. That was my first experience. And like every experience, I don't know. I started for like the first 2 weeks where first few days I was on track.
Yeah.
And then I would slowly but surely, well, not even slowly, it's actually pretty quickly, I wrote less and less. And then by the second week, I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. And then I quit. So, yep.
I remember that first NaNoWriMo being literal hell, and I didn't even do 50,000. My parents remember it too. They remember me sitting on my laptop at a dinner table and just writing furiously, and they wouldn't talk to me because I wouldn't let them, and they would just hand me food at like strategic times throughout the day when I was working, and I would just like quickly eat and then go back to writing, and then the plate would just disappear and I would just continuously writing. I think at one point I was crying because I hated it so much, but it was for a grade and I had to do it. So I'm just sitting there typing and crying, like, I hate this so much.
Look, nothing gets you through a challenge like the threat of a grade.
Yeah.
Like, once I have that on my mind, I can do anything. Which is probably why I've never won NaNoWriMo, because the only thing holding me to my goal is myself, and I am weak.
I'd have to like give you something, but it has to be something really worthwhile for you to like I have to be like I'll pay for a cruise or something for you or something.
You know what? Yes, yes. If someone said, "Hey Haley, if you complete NaNoWriMo, I will pay for a free cruise," then yes, I would definitely get it done.
Well, one
I
day
would.
when I have more money, I'll offer that to you.
Yay! I'm holding you to it. Get
I know.
rich.
Get rich. I have to publish something first.
Well,
Probably a
then
lot
get
of
to it.
something. I know.
Get to
I'm
it.
trying. I'm trying. I don't
Get
know
to
if I'm
it.
gonna wait for Penneth to be looked over in my classes or not, but that's gonna be next year.
Well,
So
get
who knows?
to it. Write another book. That siren book.
Yeah, that's
That
our book,
siren book.
which we are there's still we talked about updates last episode, and there have not been any updates yet, just because we are recording this the same day. Um
What? We have
and
different shirts on. It's totally different days.
totally,
I don't know what you're talking about.
totally. Regardless, I haven't worked on it in a while.
Marissa. Hey, Marissa. It could be a NaNoWriMo project.
It could be if I want to die.
I mean, okay, you know, I'm just gonna put this out here. Even though technically the challenge is 50,000 words, you could just set your own challenge
Yeah,
during NaNoWriMo to a lower word count. And
that's what
even though
Renee
you
does.
failed NaNoWriMo, you won.
That's what Renee does. Our friend of ours, she doesn't. She writes novellas, so smaller books, and what? So technically, she writes the whole like the novella she set out to write. It's all written. It's done. So she won NaNoWriMo, but without winning it, if that makes any sense.
So
Yeah,
yeah, you can do that,
yeah.
Marissa. Then we'll
I
have
could.
some updates.
I could. Yeah, I could. I probably should do that during NaNoWriMo. Just be like, okay, guys, instead of 50, it's just gonna be 30, and if I can get like halfway through this novel through a month, it'd be great.
Yep,
I
definitely
see
should
you
do that.
nudging over there. Stop it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You should do it.
Okay, I'll think about it, but it's probably yes. We'll see.
Yay! Well, since Marissa has confirmed that she is going to do NaNoWriMo, but you know the not official, the unofficial version,
Unofficial
unofficial
version,
NaNoWriMo
yes.
version. Tell tell us what did you learn from your previous time, so then you can also think in your brain about this, what the lessons you've learned as you go on the rest of this month and do your NaNoWriMo.
Plan as much ahead of time as possible. Like, do your
Unless you're a
outline.
pantser.
Unless you're a pantser, like unless you're a pantser, like do your outline, do your research, do your character like works, like
Description.
worksheets or
Right,
whatever,
things.
like whatever
Yep.
you need to do, get it done get it done in October, which is coming out in November. So sorry.
So it's a little too early for that. Well, you know, next year.
Next year. Or do it really, or just take a day and just really quickly like skeleton outline what you want to happen, and that way but for me it also works for essays. If I can get like a skeleton outline down of what I kind of want, I can fill in the gaps. That's fine, but I need something to work off of, and if I don't have that, then I'm like directionless. So get
Well,
everything that you can done beforehand, and also set days to write, because everyone's busy, everyone's got work, everyone's got school or some variation. um Set days to write or set times, like I'm personally, I think I'm going to try to write a little bit every day
that's
and
a
just
wise move.
see as much that, because I can write in like an hour or two. I could probably write 1,000 words, and I think you need to write like 1,200 or something a day. Yeah, you
I was literally about to do the math on that because
yeah,
I used to know. I used to know exactly how much. So if
yeah,
we're going 50,000,
yeah, do
that's divided by
50,000 just to
4.
see.
divided by 7. That's about 1,700. I'll just round it up to 86. 1,786 words a day.
Okay. So
I remember when I scheduled my stuff, I always bumped that up to like 2,000
2000,
or
yeah.
yeah, because then I can have like set days for days off. And
Mhm.
also it gives me, or if I didn't want to do that, it just gave me that like buffer few days, like that buffer week for the days when I don't meet that goal. I'm like, okay, it's all right. I still have time. I've planned ahead for this. Not like
Yeah.
it's ever helped me because I'm weak.
It's
I
hard to be that disciplined for that long.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
it
And on top
is.
of everything else you have to do, it is ah,
Yeah.
it's painful. I wasn't kidding when I said I cried, during NaNoWriMo. I
You
mean, it
know
was
what's
a teenager,
interesting?
but still.
I need to see because sometimes I'm like, man, I am terrible at this. I can't do that. I'm not made for this. And then some days because of ADHD, I'm like, boom, I am breezing through words. Like I wrote like 8,000 words in one day before because
Damn.
yeah, I'm looking at this play. The last writing binge I really went on, I wrote a full length play and I wrote it in 4 days and it's about 16,000 words.
Damn. Good on
And I'm
you.
like, if my brain could hit that precise mode and make it last an entire month, I
Yeah.
could definitely do NaNoWriMo. It's just that's never what happens.
No, in fact, the opposite happens. You could be in a writing mode in October, and you're like, "Cool, this is perfect. I'm so ready for November," and then it'll stop
Yep.
every
It
time.
doesn't help that it's like holiday season, and for some reason, holiday season is when I'm the least motivated to work, probably because of all the holidays going
Mhm.
on. Cause like I don't know, like it's November and then it'll be my like in November I have my birthday and I don't want to do anything on my birthday, and then I have Thanksgiving and I don't want to do anything there. It's also beginning of Christmas time. Let's be real, Christmas just start in December. So I'm starting to get the Christmas spirit, but I'm also trailing on the edges of Halloween. So yeah, November is not a very productive time for me. Even though oh yeah, it's also when like finals happen. Like a lot of like big projects and stuff happen in
A lot of
November for
projects begin
school.
in November, yeah.
So it's like this is literally one of the worst months for me for this to take place.
Yeah.
Or could this be like February or April?
I was thinking June, because then it's in summer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because then everyone's out of
They do
school.
have Camp Nano. They have Camp Nano, which is I
Yeah.
don't quite know what it is, but as far as I know, it's almost NaNoWriMo, but not quite, and it's in like July, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I should actually look into that. Maybe that would work out better.
Maybe. It's just not as big. Just sad.
Yeah. All right. You know, I totally forgot what we were talking about. Learning things that we learned
Really? Yes.
to prepare you, Marissa, for you doing NaNoWriMo that you have already said you're doing and you've promised.
Yes. Um, the regret is coming in. And and things I've learned. I think the most is just to be patient with yourself and to forgive yourself. You have to do it very quickly, just kind of like, okay, reset. Because there's no time to really backtrack. NaNoWriMo really is putting words on a page. Don't edit. Don't think about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Oh,
Just, I
don't
will
edit.
fix this later. A lot of times, what I would do if I felt that I was going in the wrong direction, I would just be like, okay, I think I want to start here. And I would just, from that point on, write in that direction. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'll fix it in editing. As much as I hate fixing things in editing, it's the best
Yeah.
way to do it. Because if you go back, your word count is going to stay the same instead of just take the new direction and just go with it.
Uh,
That's another thing I'm
oh,
like,
one thing I learned. So the closest I've ever gotten to winning, I did 20,000 words,
nice.
and the way I got there is the thing I learned is the one other than the pre-prep and stuff. It's jumping around what I'm writing. I don't write linearly. I like for NaNoWriMo. Usually I write linearly. For NaNoWriMo, I did not. I said, okay, what am I in the mood to write? What what do I have like ideas for? What gives me a spark of inspiration? And then I just write that. Because if I try to force myself to write something, sometimes like it's gonna take forever. As opposed to writing something I actually want. And then that along with like what you said, like you can't really care about what you're writing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you can't think about quality, you can't think about like
All
anything
about
like that.
quality.
It's just yeah, you just gotta go. You just gotta do it. You just write it, and so it helps to just jump around. Write the ending, then write chapter 5, then write chapter
Yeah.
20, then write chapter 1.
I
Like whatever
know
you need to do.
for the book that I wrote, which I know you and I disagree on whether or not I should. I don't know if you think it should be published, but if you do, I disagree.
I think okay. My opinion on that on her book Arcana, you can buy it
Yeah, never
nowhere.
in nowhere.
Um, I think that it could be worth going back and editing and then publishing.
Okay,
But
I
I
just
also think that about a lot of things.
yes.
I don't really think there's ever like a book that doesn't deserve to be published, like I don't really think there's such a thing as a lost cause.
Yeah.
It's just all about editing and maybe timing and stuff. And I think yeah, so if you're I've been the number one advocate telling you to go back and edit that, Marissa.
I
How could
know.
you even ask? How could you even ask?
Anyway, when I wrote it in like sections. So I had it was like the beginning section, and then it would be like it was like three chapters. It'd be if you read it, there's three chapters that are always kind of similar to each other. And that's because I wrote it in like three chapter segments. And so it made it a lot easier to break it down that way and be like, okay, this is grouped together, and then this is grouped together. Um, and just kind of go that way. So if you can kind of group things together, do it that way. If you can't, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. This is anyone who chooses to take on the challenge. I commend you. I'm not doing it this year, unless I end up doing it this year. But I most likely am not because
No, Haley,
I don't
join
actually have I don't actually have
join.
anything I want to write
Well, you do have. I don't
necessarily.
think
Like
want to write is the context there, because you do have that one pirate story.
yeah, but I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. I don't know if I think on it and I'm like have more of an idea because I'm also thinking of maybe making it a graphic novel and that's a whole other thing. I don't know.
I feel that.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I don't know what I'm doing.
You just gotta fuck
So
around and find
most
out.
likely not, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Who
Because I like
knows?
it.
By this
I like
time.
the start of it.
Oh, you do? Ow! Ow! I didn't even get to the fun part. I didn't even have the fun. I did attempt to do NaNoWriMo with that book. I got 2 chapters in.
Ah, we'll
Yeah.
see how far I get
So who
with
knows? Maybe I'll pick it up again.
maybe we'll see how far I get with Adam and B. I don't know if I'm going to keep her name as B. It says weird. It feels weird to say it out loud.
I forget that that is what their names are, and so every time you say Adam and B, I'm like, what? Who are you talking? Who?
Who?
What?
They're not from the Crimson Ace.
I,
Who?
what? I keep forgetting that you even want to write that book. That was. Anyways, well, so yeah, Marissa. So all right, recap. Except your writing's gonna suck during this because it's all about speed.
The speed.
Plan ahead. Unless you're listening to this right now, then it's a little too late for that. So take a plan real quickly if
Take
you
a
need
day.
to.
Plan it real quickly.
Yep. Um, write whatever your little brain and your little heart desires. No need to be linear. Don't go back and edit. The second you
Please.
do, you've already lost. And finally, Marissa's doing NaNoWriMo. She's already promised it's happening. Yes. By the time you listen to this, she's already writing. I don't know what her word count's gonna be, but she's doing it. Woo! Everyone.
Just check out for our
Woo!
not Twitter, because it's not Twitter anymore. Check out for our X. Maybe I'll post a weekly word count, and all of you can either celebrate or in my success or in my shame.
Yep, you can make yourself feel better if it doesn't
You're
work
like,
out.
well, I'm not doing so hot, but Marissa's doing worse, so.
No, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it. You got this. Creative writing major,
Yeah,
future
although
author.
for those of you who don't know, I am currently in a MFA program where I am set to get 2 masters if I stay on track. One in fiction
One for
and then the
fiction, one
other
for
in,
young adult.
yep, young adult / children's. I will do my
Whoa!
next, not this coming spring, but next spring.
Oh, depending on how well NaNoWriMo turns out, that could be your thesis for fiction.
It could be. It honestly could be, because if not, it'll probably be the Crimson Ace, and that'll be interesting with the two.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But that is all we have for you today. Make sure to check us out on X, aka Twitter. I don't know why they changed it. Really dumb, but whatever. At writing_addicts. And on Instagram writing at I know my Instagram handle, I know it. At writing.addicts.
Also, make sure to check us out. Not check us out. Make sure to follow us to get notified for the next episode, especially since we are only posting once a month for a while. Hopefully that'll change. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye!
Bye! Good luck on NaNoWriMo!